Welcome back, guys, to part 2 of the Q&A. Man, this thing is going to be long. I knew it would when I was like, you know, I'm going to do a question and answers video. They are always big, at least for me anyway, that's for sure. Usually half hour, 40 minutes per part, and I've got so many questions, and answers take time and to give you guys an actual proper answer. So this is more or less Q&A slash FAQ, so people can keep coming back to this and see big answers of stuff going on. I hope you guys got your game request questions answered. I know there were some other game requests that people did, like Bravely Default, which I'm probably not going to do because I played it on my honeymoon and that was quite recent. Games like Recall, which I've never heard of but look really good, so that's on my maybe list as well. So there you go, some extra answers there. So yes, I'm looking to move forward now. We've done game requests. Game requests are things that YouTubers get all the time, especially Let's Players, of course. Endlessly. So there's some of the big name games, and my thought process into games hopefully condensed into a video that wasn't very condensed. 40 minutes long, I know how to waffle, and I'm doing it right now. So this vlog here, this part 2 of the Q&A, is going to be questions about the channel and some video games in general, just kind of like thrown in there to kind of like go about. So this one hopefully won't be as long, but probably will be, let's put it this way. So sit down, buckle up, the Q&A begins now. So the usual big question that you get asked in these kind of Q&As is very much about, why did you start YouTube? When did you start YouTube? What was your first video? That kind of thing. So many questions come in about that, or people wanting to know things on this. Why did I start? Why did I do Let's Plays? Why did I do this? Why did I do that? Well, one day I was just watching YouTube and I wanted to get better at Call of Duty, which is how I originally started doing YouTube, making Call of Duty videos. I saw the videos from people such as Cnanas and Hutch and that, who were like Machinimas, when Machinima was taking off, let's put it that way. And I thought I could do that because, well, you know, I thought, oh, I get scores like that, it's not a problem, it's not that bad, I could do videos like that. And then I started. That's pretty much the impetus that made me start. I played Call of Duty and suddenly I thought, yeah, I'll be a YouTuber. Nothing really more than that. It's more that I can do that. I can do that, I want to do that. I could, yeah, sure. So I started making videos, and then I realised it's a bit harder than you think, because for those Call of Duty videos, for my Call of Duty period, you could tell that I'm not comfortable with it at all, because now I'm okay with speaking stuff and just talking, and now I'm getting really used to being in front of camera as well and stuff like that. But the first 100 videos was like, hello, my name is Olizandri and I'm doing a video on... And, you know, I sounded like some kind of documentary presenter or wildlife, yada yada. It was kind of weird. It was kind of weird. So my first video was all that. My first video, by the way, was a Modern Warfare 2 video on Favela, where I'm talking like that, really quietly in front of the mic, because I haven't worked out mic levels or anything. I have no editing experience. I have no experience of doing anything. That's how you are when you start anything, though, isn't it? And I'm talking so quietly, and I'm so monotone. I'm doing this, and I'm trying to be funny during it while being monotone. Yes, yes. And the thing is, with Call of Duty videos, it's very easy to do that kind of medium because, well, you only record your good games, if you know what I mean. You only generally put up your good games. So I think Call of Duty now is more a streaming game, because a gamer should be, especially an FPS gamer, should be done more on the average, how they are as they play as a whole. Like, I was a free KD player, which is really quite good back then. So that was good. I was an averagely good player. I mostly hit like the standard KD with a standard amount of deaths, but then you get those really, really good games and then you put them up on YouTube. So that's pretty much how I started and how I got into it. It was all through that. When I started doing Let's Plays was later on, when the new Zelda game came out, and I was like, yeah, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do it for the channel. And that started a switch. But that's another question for later as well, because I've got questions more on the Modern Warfare Let's Play switch. So here's another one. Why did you choose the name Olizandri? Or what is the name Olizandri? That kind of thing. I've done a video of this before. It is a Call of Duty one. I will put a link up, but it pretty much explains why I've got the name. So it's up to you to go watch it, really. It's the bigger answer, if you know what I mean. I could do cliff notes of basically, it was something to do with fantasy writing, Final Fantasy, literally. And it was originally the name of a kingdom that I invented in a story. And from there, the people were Olizandrians, and then I went to other games, and it got shortened to Olizandri, and the Olizandri part became the more known part. That's the Cliff Notes section, but you can check out a video and go and get the long version. So there you go. continuing on from another one of those questions that was very much along the why did you start YouTube kind of thing. What was the first game I ever played? I have no clue really, but I think it was Sonic the Hedgehog for the Sega Game Gear. I think. I know before I played any consoles or handheld, the first games I played were like arcade machines at pubs, or I think, you know, those little when you were a kid back then, you used to have the little handheld LCD games, the Game & Watch types or stuff. I had a Sonic 3 handheld game and stuff like that. I had a Back to the Future game and stuff like that. Those were what were around then. So I think console-wise, it might have been Sonic the Hedgehog for the Game Gear. I'm not sure if that was like the first one or the second one that came out or not. I didn't own a Game Gear personally. It was around a friend's house. I stayed over hers a couple of days, and I was young, so don't think of anything. But yeah, I was young, stayed around a couple of days and played on this Game Gear. That was the first time I experienced a console. I mean, no, the first console I got was a Mega Drive. So pretty much the first game I got with that was like Sonic 2 and the Mega games, which was like Streets of Rage, Golden Axe, and Shinobi, Revenge of. So those were the first games I pretty much played and owned. Those were the very ones that started me off. I started Sega. As that name one, by the way, the name one will talk more of that. I started Sega. I then switched Nintendo after the Mega Drive. So I was N64, Wii, and well, and onwards, if you know what I mean. And I got Xbox and all that in the middle of that. So I started Sega. I pretty much started Sega. Back in the coin-op arcade games when I used to play them in like the pub where my dad used to go, it was also Golden Axe and games like Crackdown, the original Crackdown. Those were the kind of games I'd be playing. So that was the first one. What game series are Becca's favourite? Very much your Skyrim kind of type Outworld, Mass Effects, your Dragon Ages, BioWare stuff really, and Bethesda stuff, Fallouts and that. Those are very much Becca's games. Apart from that, I know she loves Ratchet and Clank. She absolutely loves Ratchet and Clank. She loves a lot of PlayStation series. Shadow Hearts, Jak and Daxter, Spyro the Dragon, PlayStation girl, if you know what I mean. Other side of the spectrum from me. So here's a pretty big on question here. Here's a very big question that's been plaguing the channel for a long time again. Will I start streaming? When will I start streaming? What are my plans for streaming? What's the progress on me live streaming? I've always intended to do live streams, honest to God. I always wanted to do like half and half. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to be running like, for example, a live stream series and a normal YouTube series at the same time. And the live stream series would of course go on YouTube, but then it would have like you guys talking and give me tips throughout, so you could even be more part of the action than ever before. That was always the plan. 2012 October is when we were originally supposed to get fibre in the area, and fibre is one of the requisites for streaming because with the internet connection as it is now, I can't do it. I can barely do it. I did go on and try it one time with some Black Ops 1, I think it was. A couple of people actually got to watch that, but the quality of it was so low and the lag that I was experiencing, even though I did well somehow, I don't know, was terrible. It's basically that. The progress on it is that now I found out that this company or like this kind of thing called Fastershire is doing the area. And from the end of June to the end of this year is the window in which Stroud, which is where I live, is being worked on. So from there I messaged them and they said the first cabinets will start to go live around autumn. That's when I'm expecting to start streaming. Of course, because we know from the fact that I wanted to start streaming in 2012, we know that this will probably not happen. But, fingers crossed, that's pretty much all I can say. What will I be streaming? Pretty much a bit of everything. I probably might do a Let's Play series, I might be playing a lot of PC games, but those would be more like, I might play some Civ 5, some League of Legends, some Call of Duty, some of this, some of that, whatever takes my fancy. Big Pharma, games like that, which is like a pharmaceutical game where you make pills. Some weird games just to sit and chill out and play with you guys. Or games that I could play with Becca, multiplayer on 2 PCs. Those might be the thing, because of course this live stream will be in mine and Becca's time, if you know what I mean. So I'll probably be playing with her, if anything, if I can. So I can't really say for sure, but probably games like that. Live stream games, what I consider them to be. So here's a question. Which one of my Let's Plays have I enjoyed playing the most? And which one have I enjoyed playing the least? Which one did not take my fancy? Well, Well, that's a really serious question, because it's like saying, like, which games did you have the most fun on and which game did you think was poo that you played? I didn't think any of them were rubbish. I probably least enjoyed, as I said in the game request, when playing the Pokemon Let's Play, because my overall knowledge of it wasn't that great and I didn't know what else I could really go and do with it. So I'd probably say it was the Pokemon one, based on the fact that I had all these plans, but I felt that I couldn't really deliver them, such as the Pokemon battling things with you guys. I was working with one of the subscribers out there to like help build a team, and then I never really did anything with it because Pokemon, I just feel like my knowledge wasn't there. My knowledge wasn't there. What was my favourite Let's Play to play? Well, I really enjoy playing all the games, otherwise I wouldn't have finished them. That's pretty much the be-all and end-all with that. I try to pick games that I'll enjoy playing from the start, rather than try to find out how it's going and then hate it midway and want to quit. Do you know what I mean? There are serious moments that I very much enjoyed, like Mario and Luigi 4-4 conversation at the end that just made me laugh. Skyward Sword at the end. The memorable moment stuff is what I remember, but I can't really pick out one Let's Play. I've done so many that it feels a bit odd to kind of go, oh, even though I did it for the least favourite one, but there was a reason for that. It was the knowledge. The knowledge! The knowledge, when my subscriber base was so much more knowledgeable than me. You really were! So, what's the next question? Right then, if a sequel to the last story came out, what would I think would be in it, and what are my thoughts on all the characters? Well, I can't go that in depth, but let's put it this way. If a series of the last story came out, if a new one, I'd be very interested in playing it. I really would. What it would probably involve, it would probably, I'd say, involve more of like, my memories of the game are vague, that's how my brain works, but more of those kind of like the racial epithets in it, it probably involve more of that. My views on the characters, however, I can't really go in depth to each one. I thought that a certain magic caster was very much a deus ex machina. Hello, my eye, it's magic, and now I can perform the spell which will save you all. Of course, I love Lowell and Seren so much, and their relationship and their duo. They were just brilliant characters as far as I'm concerned. Not so much with the rest. I mean, pretty much you had the main character being Tidus, or not Tidus, Zidane from Final Fantasy IX, and Garnet, Dagger. That was pretty much the main two characters. They were pretty much set in those roles. So the best two characters in that were by a mile were Seren and Lowell. They were just great characters, great characters. I'd be very interested in a sequel coming out, honestly. I don't know what would be in it, but that's the point. They've got a whole world to explore. They've got an absolute massive world to explore. And that's what games can do. If you've only done like small sections, you can really go out there and just do it. You'd never know what would be in these games. But I'd imagine more on that kind of racial line. I'd imagine more on that. Right then, Olizandri, I know your main focus is on console games, but do you think about playing more PC, like games like Five Nights at Freddy's? Yes, I understand the acronym. Me, when jump scares and horror as a whole, I would probably not be the most enjoyable player to watch doing that. I would literally no-sell it, as it were. Let's put it this way, I'm not going to go, if something jumps out and it's not going to scare me, I'm not going to give you the reaction of craziness that you want on cue. The funny thing is, if I'm expecting to be scared, I'll be less scared, and usually we'll find I start to read it, and this happens with horror movies as well, start to read it, and I'm able to pick out, right, the scare's going to be here, it's going to be that, and it's going to, you know. Horror seems to get read by me. I watch the movies and they become more comedy, because it's kind of like, well, this character is stupid, they're about to die because they're about to do this, and this is what's going to happen. And then guess what? It happens, or halfway through the movie, or there's the plot twist. I understand that now. Not saying I'm like big-headed, but I just think horror is a medium I don't get. I prefer watching like action or comedy or stuff like that. I mean, I mainly stick to anime, to be honest with you, so that's kind of what I do. So games like Five Nights at Freddy's probably wouldn't be it. Jump scares happen to me, of course. You've seen it with the spiders. That's a genuine fear of mine. Jump scares happen in random games. It doesn't have to be horror games at all. Five Nights at Freddy's really isn't my kind of cup of tea. Really is not. PC games as a whole, though, I do play PC games. To be honest, they're more of my chilled games than console games. Console games are what you could consider my channel games, my work games, if you'd like to think of it that way. And PC games are what I chill with. They'd be more likely to be played if I were live streaming, like I said before. So, like, I usually have a couple of PC games, and I usually play them every so often, and I get really into them. Usually, like, resource-based strategy kind of stuff. So that's kind of what I play. So I do play them, I do like them. It's just putting them on the channel, it's probably more a live stream thing. Who are your favourite characters in Path of Radiance so far? We're not that far in, who can say? To be honest though, one of the things I've never really got about Fire Emblem games is the fact that they keep introducing more and more characters, and I know that's because in case people have their characters die, they have replacement characters that are powerful later on. But they never up the army allowance space for many of the levels, so you can fit these parties in after you've started bonding with the original characters and you've kept them in for a long while. But yeah, at the moment, my favourite characters, again, I still have some of that Pegasus Knight joy, so like Marcia. I would like to use Titania more, but pre-promote. Who else? To be honest, I'm hoping Neff becomes a good unit. For some reason, I can't kind of flock to females in these games, and I don't really know why. I really don't know why. But they just look kind of cool stylistics. Pegasus Knights go in and bash people about. It's all good. So I say those ones, more or less. Rather than... I usually go for side characters than the main characters, which is weird. I don't know what's about me. But still, onwards from that, why didn't I play, like, MMORPGs or play more of them? If you guys have noticed, I played the beta for the original Final Fantasy XIV. And really didn't like it, and I kind of like played like 2 episodes of it, and I put them up. They're on the channel for you to watch if you want to watch them. But yeah, I was kind of thinking, I played Final Fantasy Realm Reborn lately. I played it on that month free trial when you buy the game, and yeah, it was fairly good. It takes a long time to level though. It's got a really in-depth story. I only got to about like level... I got to the point where I could get my job to have like an upgraded character level, which I think was Dragoon. So I got to about that level, like 35 I think it was, and then of course I went on holiday and I've got so busy with YouTube that I can't really play an MMORPG anymore. The real answer why I don't play MMORPGs though is because I don't want to get sucked in. I played World of Warcraft for years. I was very high end. Sometimes I had characters that were the #1 gear score for the character that I was playing, class, in the world. So I had like, when I was a paladin in Vanilla WoW, my paladin was ridiculously geared. I had like the legendaries kind of, I had Sulfuros Hand of Ragnarok, I had like full Ankurai gear, I had the axe with the eye in it, I can't remember what this was from, Kafun. And then I had full tier 3, and there was only like X amount of paladins in the world that ever got full tier 3 originally, especially because Horde didn't have paladins, stuff like that. And then when I was playing Shadow Priest, my gear score was ridiculously high, and I had one of the best geared Shadow Priests in the world for the first expansion. So I played that game hardcore. I really did. I was at the top of the rating progression. I wasn't in one of the top guilds. My guild was around top 10, top 15. We did get some European firsts, but that was it. So that's pretty much why I don't play it, because I got so sucked in that I couldn't have a life. It was like having a second job, and it ended up not fun because of politics, stress. That's the thing. In life, anything you do, there's politics. And that is the bummer for games. That is really the bummer when politics and games mix. If you're in anything, like if you do martial arts, there's politics. If you go to like a druid festival like Becca went, there's politics. If you go to like any kind of meetup, a cooking kind of like club, there's politics, because there'll be cliques, there'll be people that and that's just how things work. So I didn't like the politics, I got out of it, and I haven't played MMO since because I don't want to get sucked in. That's your answer, more or less. But yeah, I do like them. I very much like their ongoing nature. But I don't really want to play anymore. Right then, here's some Nintendo questions. What do I feel about the new Nintendo console coming out so soon after the Wii U was released? Man, I'm such a handsy person, aren't I? And of course, what do I think about the new Zelda U? This is a question I was going to answer for Zelda, but I looked at it again, and for pushback for the new console, was it? I haven't heard any news of this, it being pushed back for the new console. I just thought it was pushed back for the new year. Is it going to be like a Twilight Princess thing? You guys will have to answer me on that. As I said, I kind of don't keep up in touch with games that are coming out in the future until they're about to come out. That's the moment where my gaze switches on, because there's other games to play in the meantime. My gaze are on those games. What do I think about a new console coming out? I'm fine with it. I know it's like an expense. I know it's like, wow, you've got a new console out within a couple of years and you need to pay like £300–400 for a new console. That's a bit of a... But the thing is that Nintendo didn't aim high enough with a Wii U, and they needed to go bigger to be able to get the third-party support. They needed to be better. They needed to have better graphics, better this, better that. They're not just the level where they bumped up to Xbox 360 and PS3 standards. They needed to go more. They needed to go higher. I'd say the Wii U, of course, is doing a lot better lately. It's got some games coming out that are actually really good plays, like Splatoon. But they kind of needed that graphical bump just so developers could easier develop for their console alongside. So the big games that end up on multiple consoles can end up on their console because they're being frozen out. They need to do this. It is the best move for Nintendo. That's pretty much the way to put it. How do I feel about it? I think it's the best move for Nintendo. So go ahead and do it, pretty much. Go ahead and do it. Now, here's another Nintendo one. How do I stop Nintendo touching my videos? The simple answer is I don't. They touch my videos all the time. I just don't come onto YouTube and complain about it all the time either. I get third-party things quite a lot. For example, Mario and Luigi. Every time there's a boss battle, Nintendo claim that video, so I get nothing on it. I don't mind though. I mean, I just put them up for entertainment purposes anyway, and this is never going to be a main source of income for me. So I don't mind. Nintendo claim a lot of my videos. Square Enix claim a lot of my videos. I've got at least 100 videos claimed at this point. I've got 2,800, so I'm just looking at it as a good way. How do I stop Nintendo touching me? I don't. That's pretty much the be-all and end-all of it. I don't know when the Nintendo Partner Program will go completely live, so across the world rather than just where it is, like America and all that. But I'll look into that at the time. But no, I can't stop Nintendo touching my videos if they want to. So if I make videos of new games, like for example Splatoon, lots of those were claimed. So that's just how it is. I just live with it. Most people will complain and whine, and I'm just kind of like, well, that's the way things are, and hopefully their stance change. Maybe the partner program will help me out a little bit with that. We'll see in the future, but that's really the answer. I don't. Okay then, just to continue on from that question before we start the next question, I do talk with you guys. That's what I'm doing right now, isn't it? No, really I intended to do that with a live stream, because then I'm live and I can just talk back to you and do things. My internet connection is a hampering ability. I do reply to comments every so often. I do read every comment still. They all appear in my email and I click them off and read every single comment in my email inbox. So don't worry about that, I see everything. I usually just choose to reply for those that are really good comments though, not just the, yeah, this. The ones that are kind of like funny, smarky, cool comments. I kind of like them, or really pose a good question, and then I reply. So I kind of save for that. Really, I want to talk to you guys more when I live stream, because then we're live, I can see what you're saying, and I can reply in real time, so it's an actual conversation rather than hours apart. Because it's hard like this. So live streams are what I want to be able to do that better. But this is also what the more vlogs and the more Q&A stuff's for. It's for me to be in contact with you better. So moving on from that, do I rewatch any old Let's Plays like Mass Effects or Ni no Kunis or anything like that? The answer to that is at this point in time, no. Why? Because I have to hear this voice every time I edit videos. And to be honest, it's my own voice. Now what you should do, get a camera, get a mic, get anything. Record your own voice, right? Hear it back. Just had to itch my ear there. Do you think you sound good? Do you enjoy hearing your own voice? If you do, you're so narcissistic. But no, it's kind of like, I hear my own voice and I go, ah, but then it's my own voice. It's kind of that thing. Other people, like, I'm quite happy to hear other people's voices. It's just my own voice. But I don't watch the old games because I played them in the last few years, so I actually went through it all, so I do know it. So I shouldn't have to rewatch them yet. As I've said, my plans are probably, I'll put these on for like maybe some kid time stories or something, like an episode or so, to put a kid to bed when I'm older and I've actually got some children or something like that. They serve a dual purpose like that. They've got daddy all over them. So that'd be great, to be honest, that'd be great. But it might be something I do in the future to kind of like jog my memories on stuff when long game series get so long and I need to like think. For example, like a Mass Effect might be more of a better example of that because, well, we don't know how the prequel will be and if any of the lore in the future will matter to it and stuff like that. But no, I don't watch any of my old Let's Plays because, well, the main answer to that question is simply because I'm busy making more. That's pretty much it. Okay then, what is your favourite Final Fantasy game first off? My favourite Final Fantasy game is Final Fantasy VIII. I very much enjoyed that game indeed. I just like the junction system and doing all that. You could really overpower yourself quite a bit, but I just enjoyed the story. It was me at the time and it worked. So my favourite Final Fantasy VIII, the critic one, critically best is probably Final Fantasy VI because of course critics think that, and to be honest, looking at it and having played it once, probably think it is, to be honest. But Final Fantasy VIII is my Final Fantasy. And will I do more games with Becca, or will I play more co-op games with Becca because you guys like the dynamic? The answer to that I've pretty much said in the game requests. There are little bits of plans here and there, but it's when Becca's got free time and when Becca's willing. I can't force her to sit here and play games after she's done a 9 to 5 work day and she just wants to chill out. I do the housework, I cook for her and try to make her happy, but you know, if you know what I mean, I can't ask that for her as well, so it'll come from time to time. It's more likely to come from live stream when she's around the place or when she just pops up like the vlog last time right at the end. But still, I want to. She probably wants to as well, but we'll see. We'll see. It's down the line. It's down the line. It's down the line. Right then, how do you make so many videos you can't keep track of them anymore? Well, because I got myself into a hole of releasing so many series a day that now I feel like you guys expect it, so therefore I keep making more videos. Of course, when you get more into making more videos and editing and all that, you get more streamlined and you get better and you work out systems and therefore you can go faster and produce it faster. A lot of the time I'll have like batch renders going overnight, so I'm not having to be at the computer. I upload overnight so I don't have to be at the computer, I sleep. So I'm still kind of working on YouTube even when sleeping because things are happening with the YouTube even while I'm sleeping. So I just keep making videos because I got myself in a hole and I can start making many series at once. And I feel that if I'm just doing one series at a time, that then a load of you guys, well, this probably happens anyway. For example, if I'm not making Zelda videos, you Zelda fans out there that came mainly for Zelda probably completely switch off and don't watch the other stuff I do. So in doing multiple series, I have more of a chance of doing a series that some of you guys want to watch at any point in time, which keeps me a bit more relevant. I'd say that's one way of putting it as well. I just make videos because I enjoy it and I want to play certain games, and so there I'll play them for you. And I hope you enjoy them too. That's pretty much that. What is my favourite video game soundtrack? This is the thing. Favourite or memorable? Because I know you said favourite, but for example, when you think of game music, for me, it's Sonic the Hedgehog soundtracks that really come to mind. And stuff like, for example, Final Fantasy VII music. For example, the Final Fantasy VII boss theme. That's so memorable, it's ridiculous. So I'd say it's like somewhere between like some of the old games, because they've got those riff melodies right, and a lot of Final Fantasy music is brilliant. Nobuo Matsu, it's just brilliant, so pretty much probably Final Fantasy then I'd have to say. Right then, here's a random one, and it kind of comes in from the last one. What do I think about Sonic as a whole, like Sonic Adventure Battle and Sonic DX and all that? And you, the asker of the question, thinks that this would be a great series for me to do in terms of building the channel up some more. Well, what I think of Sonic is, I started off on Mega Drive. I, of course, owned Sonic 1, Sonic 2, Sonic 3, Sonic & Knuckles, Sonic 3D, and I think at that point, I stopped playing. I then got Sonic Adventure 2 Battle for the GameCube, of course, and since then, haven't played another Sonic since, unless, of course, you count Sonic 4 Part 1, which I did a Let's Play of for the channel. I like the Sonic series a lot, but I mean, the later iterations of it well, critically, have been received terribly, and obviously I haven't played on them, which kind of probably shows you where my kind of viewpoint stands. I don't like them so much. I really did enjoy Sonic Adventure 2 Battle. Again, that was actually one great soundtrack. I mean, just that first level you bump in and it's Escape from the City, and you've got the songs like Live and Learn. And that's a great soundtrack on that one. I very much enjoyed Sonic Adventure 2 Battle. I haven't played Sonic DX or Sonic Adventure 1 or stuff like that. The original Sonics were amazing. I don't know about doing for Let's Plays though. I know would be fairly fast Let's Plays to do. But I always wonder about Sega. I always wonder about Sega. I really do. Here's another question. What is my favourite video game character of all time? Well, you probably got that in my game requests. Oh, where are you, sir? Fox McCloud. By far my favourite game character of all time. And to think that he's hardly been in games that are really all that long, apart from like Sonic Adventure. The other games that he's been in are not that long at all. And Sonic and the Star Fox games that will come out in the future aren't going to be long either. Probably the Wii U one will be done in like a few hours. But Fox McCloud, actually, I find him to be my favourite. He's always been my Smash character from day one. He's just what I play. I like Fox. Fox is my fave. So, have I ever played Fantasy Life? I've never heard of it, so no. Is that the Nintendo DS game? A 3DS game? I'm not sure. I've never heard of it, no. And no, just never heard of it. So, answer to that question is really no. What is your favourite Nintendo gaming series? Again, a nice, quick question here. Star Fox, by a mile. That's why I'm very, very hyped for the next Star Fox game to come out. And no, it's not Zelda's, despite the fact I've played so many Zeldas. It's Star Fox. It will always be Star Fox. It's probably hard to not make me not like Star Fox, considering I haven't played Star Fox Command, and I kind of refuse to play Star Fox Command. So I can continue to like Star Fox, because I've heard it's terrible. But still, Star Fox, my favourite game. Okay then, you liked my Final Fantasy XIII walkthroughs? Great! What do I think of the Final Fantasy XIII story as a whole? It probably should have ended after the first one. I'm not quite sure about the sequels, but I heard recently that Square Enix like to build sequels as they just think that's the way the game thing's going. If you want to get the amount of... I think... What was it they said? If you want to get the money back from making a game nowadays, it has to be like a 3-part series. So that's part of the reasoning, I think, behind they went through the whole 13 series in the end. 13 I thought was good. I know a lot of people really didn't like it because it wasn't so Final Fantasy and it didn't open up until the 3rd disc, I think it was. 13.2 was fun, and 13.3 was, again, another different experience, but it was fun. So like I say, I liked it as a whole. The story was a bit everywhere in the end, but that's what happens when you retcon an ending in the first game to get more. The whole Sarah having, you know, that horrible stroke and dying at the end. Oh, spoilers! Spoilers! But the whole, that was kind of a bit grim, but it all worked out fine in the end. I guess it was, if I had to say one word on the Final Fantasy XIII stories, it would be convoluted. It didn't have to go that way, and, you know, as soon as they retcon anything, that's when you know things are getting a bit crazy with the time travel and all that. But yeah, that's my thoughts on Final Fantasy XIII series. Okay, if I were to have another YouTube channel that wasn't gaming, what would I do? At this point, I really don't have anything else I think I could put up. I mean, the next thing I would probably think of doing was some kind of martial arts, but because I'm not a master or anything like that, and I've only been doing it for 2 years, that would be rubbish. So, I don't know, really. I don't think there's much anything else I could do on YouTube if I was to do it. So, I can't really say I'd do anything but the gaming. Right then, next question! Which Fire Emblem game is my favourite? To that, I say there's a nice quick answer. Let me play some Fire Emblem games first! I've only played Reckon No Ken on the channel, and before that I'd only played Path of Radiance, of which I only remember a sequence involving a forest, and that's about all I know, is that you spend a long time in a forest at some point in the game. So, to that I can't say I have a favourite, because I need to play more. I need to have experienced more. I may have played it before, but my memory, it's just like marbles up there scattering around the place now that I've hit it. I don't know, so that's all I can say that. Can I do Minecraft videos? I did do a couple, well, long time ago in the past. But to be honest, I never really took it off, even though they did very well for me at the time, to be honest. The Cribs video that I did. but I never really wanted to become another one. And to be honest, at the time I started, if I started when I started, because, I mean, I started when it really did take off. I mean, David64YRT, I think, was the name of the guy that really started Minecraft, not like a lot of the guys you know now. But if I started then, maybe I'd have been a lot bigger than I am now if I kept going. But I didn't really want to follow that craze. I just felt it was kind of like a bit of an easy path to take. Maybe I don't have that much of an imagination to play Minecraft either. I've made some nice places. Me and Becca have made like this island home sometime. Occasionally it has propped up on our PCs and we played it together, but now I don't really see myself making a Minecraft series. Maybe that would be something more to live stream, I do not know. On to the next question. Okay, so you were wondering if I had a set approach to play games in order to be able to get everything. I can't say I do. To be honest, I kind of wing a lot of the gameplay I do. I just go, oh, I'll go here, there, and everywhere. Occasionally, like, for example, off camera, I'll be checking places and winding up the game clock even more. But I'll go back if I consider there was something there. A lot of the times I'll take mental notes of, oh, there was this puzzle here that I couldn't do at the time and I need to come back to this area later on because I'm obviously going to get a skill or ability to be able to do it. Basically, I'd say it's more down to just having X amount of years gaming experience and therefore having a bit more of a thought or insight into how developers build games in general at this point in time. Just making sure to check all the nooks and crannies, which is why oftentimes I'd say my videos on average for a part probably take a little bit longer than other people's. I don't know. I don't know. You'd have to tell me, really, if they do or not. But no, I don't really have any set pattern. It's more just having played games so long, and a lot of the times I kind of expect things to be in places. I expect things to be here and there. I say, the main pattern I have for any game that I play is that I want to go the wrong way before I go the right way. If you go the right way, you end up fighting bosses usually, and then sometimes get locked out of zones. So I always want to decide to go down the path which I think will be the one that doesn't lead me to so I can find stuff. That's pretty much it if I had to say anything. There we go. Right then, here's the big question earlier. When I was talking about Call of Duty earlier, there are people that have asked me if I thought about playing all the new Call of Duty games like Advanced Warfare and all that for the channel, apart from that, or doing it for like vlogs and whatnot. And the fact that I referred to this originally, like Skyward Sword Time, that this was a Call of Duty channel and that it would not change from that. Why did I change from that? Why did this become a Let's Play channel? The answer to that is simply because the game I just started playing at the moment, what was Modern Warfare 3, when we started Skyward Sword Let's Play. I started enjoying, of course, doing the Let's Play way more. Nintendo was way more my history, if you know what I mean. But the main reason was that I enjoyed doing Call of Duty, Black Ops 1 especially, because of theatre mode and the editing that I was putting into the videos. Now, at the same point in time, I was feeling really bad because I was putting all this effort into these videos and trying to make them look better and not getting any more views or not getting any more subscribers than my competitors at all. I think when I started Let's Playing, I only had about 2,000 subscribers as a whole. So even though I was putting in all this extra work than everyone else, I wasn't getting any eyes on me at all. So I was feeling a bit, because of that, pretty much. So I guess that contributed to my drift to a Let's Play channel, and the fact that Modern Warfare 3 didn't have theatre mode, which didn't allow me to continue it. Plus my PC broke down as Modern Warfare 3 started, and if you're not there in the first week, you're pretty much guaranteed to kind of get drowned out by everyone else. That's actually how Call of Duty YouTubing kind of works in some regards. So that's why. Have I thought about playing Advanced Warfare and all that for the channel? I thought about doing it live streams and getting back into Call of Duty on there, but not for the channel, no. I barely play the games at all at this point anymore. Right then, the final question. I'm going to have to hold up my tablet here to read this one out because it's a fairly long one. Hey Olis, I've been watching your Let's Play for years now. My first question is, how does it feel that I use, and I hope others too, use your videos as a way of having something to fall asleep to? Your videos have cured many insomniac nights for me. Wow. And now, I expect one way that people might think I take that is, your voice is so boring, it sends me to sleep. Oh. Watch the original Call of Duty videos for that, because man, they will. They'll send you to sleep, apart from the killing and the shooting. But still, man, they'll send you to sleep. Honest to goodness. Honestly, I don't care how anyone uses my videos. If it can help you out at all like that, that's brilliant. To be honest, when I'm watching videos or anything of anything at all, usually I'm working, and it's usually that thing where I've got my PC, I'm working, I'm doing editing and that, and I've got something on the side to be noise, to kind of make sure you don't go insane from all the silence and stuff like that. So if it helps you go to sleep because you're an insomniac, if my voice, my tone of voice, the way I approach things, what I do, can do that, brilliant. I'm not taking any insult from that whatsoever. I know a lot of people eat while they're eating, a lot of people watch the video while they're doing homework. Well, I say watch, but they think, a lot of times people listen. And that's the thing. A lot of people go, as well, let's add my own question here. A lot of people go, why are you talking when we can see the text on the screen? I can read, you know. And it's not like I ever like, you can't read, I have to read for you. I've never said that. There's a lot of people from foreign countries that go, you've helped me with my English. And I go, ah! You know I pronounce a lot of things wrong, right? But I read because it then means that you don't necessarily have to be watching the screen all the time in order to do stuff. It's part of the things I do. It's part of the experience. There are some people like kids that don't know certain words. They're a part, you know, it just makes the presentation better. So if it can help you go to sleep, brilliant. As far as I'm concerned, if it helps you with your homework, brilliant. Helps you do this or that. That's not like the original purpose of, I don't expect everyone to be there going, I will watch every moment. When it's mostly, at times, like a completely, you know, like for example, in conversations, it is just a screen with like text, text, text. You can just listen to it, so it's good. So yeah, if that helps you, brilliant. If it doesn't, well, I don't know. But I'm fine with that, so brilliant. If I help you go to sleep, great. Great. So that is the end of this part of the Q&A. A lot more questions answered, I hope, and I hope you guys are okay with the answers. Of course, I'm always going to miss a few here and there. If I do, always say it again, I don't mind, and I'll try to comment. But then, of course, there's more Q&A videos to come. We've got the general questions ones, the one more about me, the Zelda questions one, and hopefully a setup video to come. So, with these extremely long Q&A videos, we bring another one to an end. I'll see you around, guys, for more. Bye-bye.